Siser. So there's your first lesson of the day. So that's what we're gonna go over application with 3 different Siser products. So this is heat transfer vinyl. So how many people have used heat transfer vinyl before? Raising hands. All right. So we just passed, did everyone have a great Easter, I should say, right? Easter was a little bit different this year. How many people did any kind of fun projects for Easter? Anything with heat transfer vinyl, decal vinyl, any fun projects there? I know a lot of baskets and bags and all that kind of decoration. So I had, you know, just like most of us, right? We're all dealing with a lot of ebbs and flows with feelings. Like we're all going through all roller coasters of emotions, right? We're dealing with the same stuff together, but at different times. So just recently, what I'm going to show you today was kind of just something that brightened my day up, and it just brought the faith back into the humanity, and that we can all still be positive and show each other a little bit of appreciation. And this came from a very kind little girl that I've never met in my life. This stemmed, and I'm going to try to do a screen share here to show you a quick clip from well, I have a camera outside of my front porch. I know it's weird, but just to show you kind of what I saw, and hopefully you can see it. But this little girl right here came up to my door, and she taped up a hand-drawn design. And I thought that was one of the coolest things because, well, first off, I didn't know what she put on there. I was like, oh, young vandals, fun. But then it ended up being an incredibly kind hand-drawn design. And this is kind of my message for today too, on top of all this. And maybe we can do something to help your neighbor out and bring a smile to their face. And what I did is I took a photo of that design that she gave me, and I'm going to just show you. And I'm working in a software called Corel Draw, and hopefully you can all see this. But here was the original picture that I took of the design that she drew, and I vectorized it. So I actually went in, and just to show you in a wireframe, I went into this software and I traced this design. This way I could make it now a cuttable file. This is a little bit more of an in-depth tutorial, and maybe down the line we can talk about this at another time. But I just wanted to show you what I did to get to where I'm at right now. And before I get into the application side, if anyone has any questions or wants to chat, we have everything muted, but in the group chat on the side, there is an option to send a message to everyone. So we do have Catherine from Michaels is going to be monitoring the questions that come in. So at any point, please, please, please feel free to ask as many questions as you have, and she'll cut me off and I'll answer your questions, because that's most important to me, to make sure we get any kind of questions or confusion answered. So I'm just giving you the steps as to where I got to where I'm at today. So what I did is I've already made this before. So just to show you what I did in my very first project doing that was I used 3 different Siser heat transfer vinyls, and I pressed them all onto a shirt to keep that message going. And it ended up actually being very, very successful, and people were really excited and they wanted to share that, and just to show some appreciation. So that's what we're going to do. So what I did is I actually took 3 of the rolls that you can get at your Michaels store. So the colors I used today were the fluorescent pink Easy Weed heat transfer vinyl, the white Easy Weed electric, so it's got kind of a pearlescent finish, and the Siser glitter heat transfer vinyl. So all 3 of these are 3 different styles of Siser heat transfer vinyls, all at your Michaels store. And what I'm going to do is mix these all together with an application. So to cut, you can use a craft cutter like the one you may see here that I have on the second camera here, is the Silhouette Cameo right here. So this is an option to cut. remember, when you open up these rolls of Siser heat transfer vinyls, is it does have this tech sheet attached to it. So please hang on to that if you've never actually looked at it, because it is a helpful tool, because it'll tell you the different kind of fabrics we recommend to apply that product to. It will also give you the home iron application instructions right up at the top here. And then this QR code right here will actually take you to the Siser app. So we do have an app that's very, very helpful that you can download right on your phone for free, and you can use that as a reference with any kind of application instructions, any swatch colors, stuff like that. So it is a very helpful tool. Hang on to that if you need. I got distracted real fast because I saw someone asking about copyright rights from the little kiddo. And I actually ended up seeing her later on, because I did put this design into my city's community group on Facebook, and they ended up coming down to my house, and she was absolutely ecstatic. So she was so happy. And again, I just wanted to put her on the front lines of just the little gesture like that making all the difference. And so yeah, she's quite all right. Her mom was totally cool with it, so I got the permission first. So
hey Joe,
yeah,
it's Catherine. There's a question from Deborah. Can you do tracing in Inkscape?
Tracing in Inkscape, that is a good question. I do believe you can. I've never used Inkscape. I know that's a new free platform. I do believe you can do an auto trace in a basic vectorizing. Unfortunately, I'm not as familiar with Inkscape, but I do know with like the Silhouette Studio, if you have the basic edition is only for bitmaps or raster images. If you go to the next step, the Design Studio edition, then you can actually vectorize, and you can do kind of what I just did in Corel Draw. But Inkscape is probably one where you can do some tracing. I know it's pretty interesting software. So yes, I cut my designs already because we're gonna keep this rolling. I already did a little bit of weeding with my glitter today. So I already have the glitter done. Now, again, I'm using 3 different products. So what's very important when you're going and cutting your different Siser heat transfer vinyls on a Silhouette, or if you're using a Cricut, that's okay too. Just be sure that you are adjusting your force. So you want to make sure you have your cut settings set correctly before you do a large run, because there is a difference in cutting Siser Easy Weed to Siser Glitter. So again, if you get the Siser app or you use any of the reference we have on our own website, we do have recommended cut settings for you if you ever have any kind of questions about that. That's where we try to help you out. So you want to make sure you do test cut. Once you have that test cut good to go, we cut our pieces. Now your next step is weeding. And real quickly, for those, I already cut, like I said, but for those that have never used this before, just to show you, when you get a roll of this and you pull it out, and you're even questioning as basic as to which side do I cut on, you want to make sure when you're layering or laying down your easy weed, let's say, is the shiny side, which is this outside here. You want to lay that down to where the dull side is up. So when you cut on your heat transfer vinyl, so Siser Easy Weed and Siser Glitter, you're going to actually mirror your design. So it's going to be cut in reverse. So it may not look right when you look at it, but when we go to do the application, it'll be all set. So
hey, Joe.
Yeah.
I got another question for you.
Absolutely.
Do you prefer to use the mat when cutting?
We definitely recommend using the mat when cutting. I don't have a mat here, but we do recommend using the mat just to keep it a little bit more flat, and from especially on the thinner products like the Siser Easy Weed, Electric, and Stretch, those might be a little bit more difficult to cut without a mat. But the Strip Lock Pro or the Siser Glitter, those products you will probably get a little bit of a better chance to cut without a mat than the others. And then another thing too is save your scraps. So this little piece right here of the glitter that I cut off of this can be used for another piece or another project. And this is certainly where you're going to want to use a mat, because you want to make sure that lays down flat and that you can cut in that area. So definitely use a mat, save your scraps, and then yeah, you can definitely use that for later. So I'm just weeding away my Easy Weed fluorescent pink, and I'm just using a Siser weeder tool right here. They will, I don't know, Michael's will have them, right? Yep. Okay, Catherine's going to yell at me at some point because sometimes I say things. And I'm going to show you something. She's going to be like, yeah, just tease it and then move on.
They will be available at Michael's coming soon.
Okay. All right, so this is the electric white. So again, it's going to be a little bit harder to show on my 2 different cameras I have here, but the finish is really flashy. And what's really cool is it's just as thin as Easy Weed, and you can layer and you can mix and match. So that's really awesome. So I have 3 pieces. That's how quick it was to weed this. And now what I'm going to do is apply this with a home iron. Now, if you have a Cricut Easy Press, you can absolutely use that. So if you already have that, just make sure you're following to the correct temperature and that you're using a flat, even surface when you're pressing. I know that they recommend using pillows for those. You can use those. The most important thing is that we want to make sure we're getting good pressure with these. And I've already burnt and melted this table multiple times, so I've learned my lesson a little bit. And what I'm going to use today is actually a wood cutting board. So to protect any surfaces like this poor table has already taken a beating in the last month. I'm going to use a wood surface, and hopefully you can all see it. Now, today I'm going to be using a Gildan shirt, which are available at Michael's, but one of their cooler ones I didn't get a chance to get stock up on it, but they're newer editions of the Bella Canvas shirts. Those, my personal opinion, I like the feel of those. Those are really light, stretchy. They're awesome. But they offer those as well. But they have these Gildans, which are great and light. So we're going to be applying on this with the home iron. So the first thing you want to do with the home iron is make sure you follow the correct settings. Do not use steam. So please do not add water. Don't use anything regarding steam or any of the other fancy options that they may have on there. Some also have a setting to where it might be the type of fabric. This home iron only has a number range. So it goes from 1 to 6. So in this case, I keep my setting between the 6 and 5. So for most of our products, we recommend between the cotton and wool setting. So that's where you'll be when you do your application. So to start off, what I like to do is I just iron out the area. This takes out the wrinkles and moisture that might be caught within the garment. And again, if you're using anything for a project like this, obviously you can use something other than just a shirt. Today we're just going to show a shirt, but if you have other things that you want to press on, I say go for it. So the first layer we're going to do is the electric layer. And for cover sheets, simple parchment paper will work adequately for a cover sheet. So you still want to use that to protect your transfer. Now this is the very important part when it comes to application. Is what when you're using a home iron or a Cricut Easy Press, is that when you lay it down, you are applying pressure. So you need to not only count the seconds, but you also have to make sure that you're putting some force down. So it's kind of that, you know, downtime where Catherine can answer any questions that you have.
Lots of questions about the Bella t-shirts. They are available at Michael's and michaels.com, and they are 100% cotton, and they are pretty great.
They are pretty great. I did, so I was fortunate to also be able to do a live for Michael's on, what was it, Valentine's Day? And that was the first time I got to pick up some of the Bella Canvas shirts, and I like that soft, stretchier feel to it. I mean, the Gildan still are stretchy and have a soft hand to it, but those are a game changer for me, the Bella Canvas.
We also have new extended sizes available online in the Bella Canvas shirts, so that's very exciting. And Joe, there's a question for you. When should you use Siser Stretch HTV versus regular?
The stretch versus regular is totally a preference thing. Now, to get into that, I am personally, I love stretch. I use Easy Weed Stretch for a lot of my own personal projects. Honestly, it's all a preference thing. I know people see stretch and they think it can only go on stretchy fabrics, but it's not necessarily true. You can use it for all the same fabrics as regular Easy Weed, but when it comes to something like a Lycra or spandex or rayon, like those stretchier fabrics, we recommend using Easy Weed Stretch. But it's very, very important, and we can't stress this enough with Easy Weed Stretch, and for those that are using a home iron or a Cricut Easy Press, that pressure is so important with that product because it's the thinnest heat transfer vinyl that we have at Siser. So we certainly want to make sure that the pressure is even and firm for that. Oh, I think I may have lost the second camera. Sorry.
Here's another question, Joe, while we troubleshoot. Okay. Do you have a trick for how to make sure that you're getting your design centered and level on the shirt or the surface that you're ironing onto?
My trick is just years of experience. No, what we usually say is about a 3 or 4 finger from the collar down. And then I usually gauge it off of the shoulders or the seams of the sleeves. So I'll just kind of eyeball it. Now, what some people might do to find the center is they might take their shirt, fold it completely in half, lay it down onto their surface, iron it, and create the middle crease. And then when you go back, you have that center crease to use as the guidance. Now, when you do that, you kind of also crease your shirt. So that might not be what you want to do. You can also take your transfer, if you have it evenly cut, and I already did the heart, and as you saw that fold right there, it was spot on. You could take your transfer and fold it like that and do the exact same thing and create that center crease and then just line it up with the collar of the shirt the best you can. I hope that answers the question. Well, all right. So we still got a couple more applications. So I tacked down the Easy Weed Electric right now. And for those that are too apprehensive and scared to try it, we're going to be layering Easy Weed directly on top of the Easy Weed Electric. And this is the beautiful part about the Easy Weed line is that you can do this. So I kind of tack that electric down. Now I'm going to put the fluorescent pink right on top of it. But again, we want to make sure that we're using pressure and we're not ironing. If you notice, I hope is the camera angle crooked?
I think it looks okay.
Okay. So we had a little bit of that lifting there, which is fine. Now, what I was saying is, as you notice, I'm not ironing it like I would iron out the wrinkles like I did earlier. I'm actually laying it down and pressing onto with even pressure, with some downforce in each section of my transfer. So my last layer is going to be the electric. I'm sorry, the glitter. Okay, any questions?
You answered the most recent one. The question was if you were leaning your weight into it for pressure.
Yes. I mean, some people, I've literally seen YouTube videos of people standing on their home iron, which is cool. It's kind of overkill. you just want to make sure that you're putting some downforce into it, and that you're getting it evenly throughout the entire transfer. And that goes, again, whether you're using a home iron or a Cricut Easy Press, either one. And as you notice, these last 3 applications, or all 3 of them, they've all been hot peels. So as soon as I'm done with the application, I can peel it hot. I don't need to wait till it cools off. That's another thing that these tech sheets will tell you, is whether or not they're a hot or cold peel. Now, what I like to do once I get all of my transfer on there, I do like to cover it back up. And then I actually like to do a little bit of a last second press just to make sure I get all the corners down. And in this case, you can kind of do more of the ironing.
Hey, Joe, we've got a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
First, what is the white sheet that you're putting on top of the HTV?
So this is actually just a non-stick cover sheet. This is one that will come, it's another part of the industry, but again, if you use a piece of parchment paper, I don't have parchment paper with me, but regular parchment paper you can get at Michael's, like, that's going to be perfectly fine for a cover sheet. This is one that I use for my heat press. So before I go into my quick tease, I got to do it. Just because we did the application, here's a big reveal. I want to hear everyone's feedback. What do you guys think? That's 3 different Siser heat transfer vinyls. So that, again, fluorescent pink Easy Weed, the white glitter, white electric Easy Weed, and the blue glitter. Pretty cool.
Oh, beautiful, glitter, right? Joe. Here's another question for you.
Like a tough crowd, eh?
If you're using a heat press, are you pressing the full amount of time between layers?
No. And that's why I wish I could show this heat press the way it should be. But without further ado, I'm just going to tease this real fast. Catherine, go ahead and tell everyone what you're going to tell me, or.
So coming soon in the future, we will be offering a Siser heat press. Very exciting. Joe is going to show it to you very quickly.
Real quickly, sorry. I have to do it. Did I lose the second camera? Okay. I just got it. I have to show it because it's so fresh. It's new. I showed it in my Valentine's Day live with Michael's. Michael's will have this. It's not available yet. I will stand up for Catherine, but this thing is awesome. It is, I think it's 9 by 12. So 9 inches by 12 inches. And this is how it's going to work. So I would have been able to load my shirt up on there, and my application would have been done probably in a third of the time that it just took, maybe less. Once these are officially available and stuff like that, I can't wait to give you guys more tutorials showing this and how quick the application with Siser heat transfer vinyls will be, and all the versatility of this. But again, I'm just going to say it's not available. So let's obliterate that from our memories right now.
I've got another question for you to change the subject.
Absolutely.
Are there certain Sisers that cannot or are not recommended to be overlapped or layered?
There are. So as you guys saw, I did the glitter on the top. So just to be quick with that, because there's a bunch of scenarios, with what Michael's offers of Siser heat transfer vinyls, the rule is basically, if it isn't Easy Weed, you can't layer on it. You can use it as a top layer though. So that's where I guess the confusion is. So if you did exactly what I did with mixing different Siser heat transfer vinyls, so say you wanted Easy Weed, but you wanted to layer glitter on it, you can absolutely do that. But if you had glitter and you wanted to layer Easy Weed on top of it, you can't do that. So glitter, holographic, heat transfer vinyl by Siser, that's one that we don't recommend layering on top of. Strip Lock Pro which I don't have down here with me, but Strip Lock Pro is like a suede velvety heat transfer vinyl. Very cool. One of my personal favorites. You can actually layer on top of that. So that one is very unique in that way. But for the most part, you can layer all of them with the exception of the glitter and the holographic. Unless I'm missing something. And I'm pretty sure someone from Siser's in here, so they can let me know if I'm messing up. But yeah, here is the finished product again. I hope you guys kind of got an idea of something you could do. Again, this is we're all in the same boat together. This is new for all of us, but we can do our part to bring some joy. I know you guys are all super crafty and you already have probably a million awesome ideas. I want to do more stuff like this and maybe go outside of just doing t-shirts and show some fun ideas, because we have a ton of cool stuff to show. And not only that, because we have another whole line that's available at Michael's called Easy PSV, which is our decal vinyl. So right now what's been really fun is making decals around the house. And I've been seeing that a little bit more and more these days. And that is just pressure sensitive. So without having to use heat, you can do fun projects around the house. But in the heat transfer vinyl world, there's so many new projects, so many ideas, and you guys all probably have your kids at home, right? We're all trying to keep them busy, come up with fun, creative things. But again, doing something like this just for the people around you right now means the world. So I'd love to spread this design actually for everybody out there right now watching to be great. And I actually have the artwork already ready to go. You guys saw what I did with the drawing, and I'm going to give it to Michael's, and they will email blast it to everybody that's in here. I think so. Catherine can correct me if I'm wrong there, but they'll get it to you, and you'll absolutely have the SVG or an EPS or a PDF. This way you guys can use that file, and I'd love to see what you do with it. So if you'd like, definitely follow us on Facebook, because we just like to see what people do with Siser products. So follow our Facebook group if you'd like. It's just Siser North America Support. And we would love to see what you guys do with Siser products. And again, Michael's has been available. All these things I'm showing you today, with the exception of heat press now, but are available on the Michael's website today. So do not hesitate to reach out to Michael's and their amazing staff if you have any questions about Siser product. We're in this together. Again, we're here to help each other. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it brought a little bit of a creativity flow, get some ideas going. Feel free to keep asking questions. We're here to answer them even post this video. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm Joe with Siser North America. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I will be back next week, I do believe. So next week I will be back, I think Friday.
Yep.
Catherine, yes?
Yep.
Okay.
You're on Friday.
Unless I get fired from this. But yeah, no, I'll be back next Friday, and maybe I'll have a new project for you, and we'll show something different. Thank you guys so much. I will talk to you all very soon. Okay? Be safe.